Hi, it's that time of year again, holiday season. And I was trying to figure out which cocktail to do a video on, and I really couldn't make up my mind, so I came up with 5. So this video is going to be 5 low-carb holiday cocktails. Let's get started. Now the first one is called the Grinch. So yes, it's going to be a green cocktail. So some of the things you're going to need, the most important thing to make it green is this. You know, if it wasn't low carb, I'd use an apple pucker. But since it is low carb, we're gonna use a Jolly Rancher of water enhancers. Now, to get that right sourness that you get from an apple pucker, use 3 packets of this in 1 bottle of water. Perfect. Nice and sour, a little sweet, really good. So the Jolly Rancher of water enhancer packets is the first thing you're gonna need to make that cocktail green. So let's go ahead and get started. In our shaker, we're gonna go with 2 ounces of our Jolly Rancher mix. Like I said, this does make it pretty sour by using the 3 packets to 1 bottle of water. So we're gonna 2 ounces of that. 2 ounces of vodka. And of course, as you know, JT Mellick always. 2 ounces of vodka. Next, we're gonna do 1 ounce of lime juice. We'll be using concentrate, keep those carbs down a little bit. And speaking of carbs, I have all the carb breakdown in the description below. And last, a simple syrup. This is made with allulose. You can check out my video right here on the allulose simple syrup. You'll see me using this a couple of times throughout these videos today. So 1 ounce of an allulose simple syrup, and this is 0 grams of carbs. So there you go. So that's all of our ingredients. Now we're gonna go ahead and add some ice. Give this a good shake. All right, so next we'll talk about a garnish, and this is one I really kind of play with to kind of get what I wanted out of it. In the bowl, I know you can't see this, but you'll see in a moment, is some green sanding sugar that I made using Lakanto's monk fruit and erythritol blend. So what you're gonna do is get yourself a rocks glass, rim that a little bit with a wedge of lime, and go ahead and put this in upside down. And there you can see a little green sugar on it. So what I did is I took the about a 1/4 cup of the monk fruit sweetener, and I used 4 drops of food coloring, and it does take a little while to blend it together to where the whole thing's green and there's no more lumps of the liquid food coloring. But it's pretty simple. My wife does this with sand with her preschool class. So I tried it with the monk fruit sweetener and it worked just as good. So there you have it, green rim glass. And we're gonna just dump this in. And there you have the Grinch. Sour, just like he was at the beginning of the movie. But by the time you finish it, just at the end, you're all happy. The second cocktail is a Mistletoe Margarita. Margarita is one of my wife's favorite cocktails, so I tried to play around with this one a little bit, get a kind of ratio that I like, and it was pretty simple. You got it right on the first try, in my opinion, for my taste, and for my wife's too. So we're gonna start with our tin. We're gonna go with, when we get the tequila, using Exotico Reposado tequila. We like Reposado a little bit more than Blanco. We like that little more bold profile it has than a Blanco. 2 ounces of tequila. Use the tequila you like the most. I'm not gonna say anything about that. So that's the tequila. We go 1 ounce of lime juice. 1 ounce of lime juice. And last is a cranberry syrup. You can use cranberry juice, and I have used cranberry juice in the past for this. But I tried my hand making a cranberry syrup. It's a little bit time consuming. Pretty simple is if you just use my allulose simple syrup recipe, then you take 2 cups of fresh cranberries, Put that in there over medium heat. I think it took about maybe 15 minutes. The cranberry started to burst. All the flavor and the color went into the syrup. Strain that out, let it cool, and you have a really good cranberry syrup. So that was it. So we do 1 ounce of cranberry syrup. I find this is just so much more flavorful than the cranberry juice. Again, we'll add some ice. Give this a good shake. And that's it. And we'll get a rocks glass. This is my wife likes them on the rocks with no salt, so that's kind of how we're going to do this. I'm going to garnish that with a lime wheel and a few fresh cranberries. And there you have the Mistletoe Margarita. Next, in the third low-carb holiday cocktail, is going to be a Cranberry Old Fashioned. It's going to build very similar to a regular Old Fashioned. We'll be using a mixing glass. I'm going to start off with 2 ounces of your favorite whiskey. Mine happens to be Irish Channel, a distillery out of here in New Orleans. Their Irish Channel is a blend of a 10-year American corn whiskey and a 3-year Irish whiskey, or the other way around. I can't remember, but it's Irish whiskey and American corn whiskey. So we're gonna do 2 ounces of this. There we go. We're gonna do 3/4 ounce of our cranberry syrup. Maybe not necessarily 3/4, but just a little more than a half. And one thing I really think goes really well with cranberry during a holiday for cocktails is orange. So we're gonna add some orange bitters. Do about 3 dashes. That's kind of how I like mine. If you want to tone it down a little bit, 2's fine. We'll put some ice in here. And give this a stir. And we're gonna go ahead and strain this into an old-fashioned glass with a large ice cube. And we're gonna garnish this with an orange swath. Bring those orange oils around the glass, drop that in, and why not a few fresh cranberries. And there you have the Cranberry Old Fashioned. I think one of my favorites so far. Okay, my next holiday cocktail, totally ripped it off. Let me look at my notes real quick. This was from, let me get my notes so I can see them. I got this from eatspruce.com. The contributor was Colleen Graham. This is the White Christmas Dream. So the first thing you're gonna need in your tin is gonna be vodka. I'm gonna do 1 ounce of vodka. We're gonna do 1 ounce of amaretto. And if you hadn't seen it yet, I'll put a link up here to my sugar-free amaretto. I since then changed my recipe up slightly. Instead of the Splenda, I'm using allulose. You've heard me talk about that a lot lately. And instead of the brown sugar Splenda, I'm using the brown sugar from Swerve. So 0 carbs in this amaretto. And since I use JT vodka to make amaretto, I just put it back in a JT bottle. So this is my DIY amaretto. Let's get a little bit of ice. Give this a good shake. Oh, wait a minute. Whew, I almost forgot. Too many cocktails in one video. I'm drinking them all too, so hey, we're having a little fun here. So we're gonna do 1 ounce of heavy cream. That's what makes it the White Christmas. Now, we'll add all of our ice. Give it a good shake. All right. We're gonna strain that into a chilled martini glass. And garnish this with some ground nutmeg. I forgot to grab some fresh nutmeg, but I did have some in my pantry. So a little bit of ground nutmeg across the top. Yeah, nutmeg. I was hoping it wasn't cayenne for a minute there. And there you have the white Christmas dream. Man, that's delicious. My wife named the final cocktail for tonight, and that is the Mrs. Claus Martini. Let's get started. In our tin, we're gonna start with gin. And if y'all have seen most of my videos in the past, you see I try to stay with Louisiana products as much as I can because they're so great, especially 7-3 Distilling. They make great everything. So if I'm not drinking vodka from JT Mellick, I'm drinking something from 7-3 or another local distiller here in Louisiana. So we're gonna go with 2 ounces, let me get my jigger, 2 ounces of some gin. This is an American style gin, so it's not very piney, over floral. And one thing I like about their gin, elderflower is one of the botanicals they use. Really changed the profile, and I think persimmon, yes, the other persimmon. Wow, it's a wonderful gin. Make sure I get it right. Yeah, persimmon and elderflower. So we go with 2 ounces of 7-3 gin. Next, we're gonna go with a little bit of lime juice, about 1 ounce. This is kind of a spin on the bee's knees. You'll see in a minute. So I'm gonna do actually about 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. I don't want it too sour. And some honey syrup. So this is some honey syrup I made with, where'd I put it at? Here it is. The Nature's Hollow honey substitute. That's gonna be what you're gonna do the same equal amounts of the honey syrup. And this is going to be a little bit of a sweet cocktail. My wife does like sours, but a little more sweet than sour. Because the last ingredient we're gonna use is my cranberry syrup. Again, cranberry syrup, again, super easy to make. I mentioned earlier in one of the other cocktails. We're gonna do 1/2 ounce of the cranberry syrup. Not a whole lot, because we don't want to overpower the sweetness. Get a little bit of ice. Get it all together. And there we go. All right, we're gonna grab ourselves a chilled glass. Really nice vintage glass I found at an antique store. Love vintage glassware. Really elevate your drinks. And where's my strainer? Oh, I left my strainer over there when I was cleaning it out. All right, so so if you don't have a strainer or something like that, you can go ahead and just leave a little space in your tin, pour through there. And there you have the Mrs. Claus Martini. Garnish. We'll do a nice pretty lime and cranberry spear right over top. The Mrs. Claus Martini. All right, guys, thank y'all for watching. If y'all like my video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite cocktail is. And we'll see if I can make that low carb for you. Share my videos. Just let your friends know what I'm doing here, trying to help you guys out on keto, low carb, whatever it is you're trying to do, cut sugar out, or if you're just looking to drink. All right, guys, y'all have a great day, because after all of these, I'm definitely having a great night too. See y'all later.